First of all, the organizers never take a position. So there's a balanced array of options. We never take a position. We have to be totally neutral.
But you give information.
Balanced information, pros and cons for each position. And they have to be scrupulously balanced, and that's what the advisory group fights over, to make sure that it's balanced, even, equal arguments on either side, as you'll see. Then we have studied whether there's any movement in the direction of the initial positions of the more advantaged, of the rich, the more educated, or whatever. And we do not find any process of domination by the more advantaged. And as I was saying, very often, the more advantaged people, they may know more about certain things, but in some ways they may know less about some of the problems that are being discussed, because they don't know what it's really like to live without health care, or without enough food, or without, or what it means to be hassled by the police. And poor people and vulnerable people do. And so very often what they describe is more influential in the discussions. So we don't find any such pattern, and if there's time I will show you data to that effect. Yes?
Yeah, please, I wanted to add to what Prof just mentioned. Then I think you need to really build a case study for Africa, because what Prof is saying is true. In our part of the world, before people take or make decisions, they want to see, those privileged in society, their opinion about it, and before they would actually also make their decision in line with what those other people have said. In Africa, we have people who are illiterate, people who are illiterate who usually depend on those who are, or maybe a few who have gone to school. So normally, when such people take a position, then all the others tend to, get aligned to them. So our plea to you is, if there could be a case study on Africa where we can actually create a situation where such movements wouldn't actually occur.
Okay, the first thing is, we hope to create more than one case study here. But secondly, we do not ask the participants to actually take a position in the discussions. They express their views in confidential questionnaires. We ask them not to take a position, but only to offer reasons for and against from their, to consider and discuss reasons on either side. And we never have a show of hands in the small groups. And they put their views in confidential questionnaires before and after, and we tell them to keep their final views confidential until the end. And as I said, this worked in rural Thailand, where there was only 4 years. The education level is only 4 years. This has, I think, worked in areas of significant conflict. I see no reason why it shouldn't work in Africa, carefully adopted. But yes, we would want a series of case studies, and so I imagine that the first project will be especially important. But notice, a lot depends on what the topic is too. So people will feel free to discuss it, and they won't feel that there is some weight of officialdom saying it has to come out this way rather than that. So even in China, where the local officials had preferences, they were smart enough to keep that quiet so we could do the project. Yeah.